afternoon. I'm here with Kevin Coham, and he's the author of The Nomadic Mindset. So I'm going to let him introduce himself and his book and tell us a little bit about it. So go ahead.
Well, my name is Kevin Coham, as you said, and I come from Canada. I'm a global nomad. My history comes from figure skating, so Canada is one of the bigger figure skating places in the world.
Kurt Browning.
Kurt Browning. In fact, Kurt Browning, I did all of his choreography for his first two World Championships and also for about 4 years after that as well.
Congratulations. So, we'll talk about more that later.
Yeah, so Kurt was one of my proteges in many ways to be able to help to be very creative. So I come from that particular realm, and now I'm basically in coaching and speaking and also writing.
To touch on HR, how is your book relevant to an HR professional today?
Yeah, for HR, I think that it's extremely important simply because they deal an awful lot with competency and skill. And my focus is really about mindset, because the mindset is really what drives skill and also competencies. And I really realized that working from elite sports, and that what was the thing that made them become the champion. And it wasn't necessarily the technique, it wasn't necessarily the skill or the competency, but it was the combination of the mindset that's driving all of that. And I think that that's really what shifts all of us, is mindset. And within an organization, the HR people are in the front line to be able to put the right people in the right place at the right time, but they have to have the right mindset.
So touching on your book, what are the challenges that you think that most corporations and HRs face today, and how can they overcome that in your opinion?
Some of the challenges, yes. I think some of the challenges is that they don't think vastly enough. One of the quotes that was given to me in Mongolia from the nomadic cultures was "think vastly, act narrowly." Often they're thinking too narrowly about the organization. They need to step back and look at very wide expansiveness, and what is the mindset and the direction of the organization surrounding the vision. But then how do we then bring the talent and align it? It's not just the values of the organization and aligning to the vision, that's part of it, but how's that mindset of the people going to do? And I think the challenge is that they don't think vastly enough. They're too narrow in their thinking patterns. So that is one thing that can help. Is also understanding that the humanity is extremely important. And that is a big issue today, is humanity, and it's one of the things in Industry 5.0 with technology and humanity meeting together. Even though with jobs being removed and everything shifting, humanity is going to be very, very important to see how all of that, everything is now transformed, how it's going to work, how is it going to progress in the speed of acceleration. And so I think it's really understanding that the humanity is extremely important. So when I say that, what does that mean? That means what are the principles and behaviors that really drive people, and to be very attuned to them. Not only strengths, because everybody talks about strengths, but it's also looking at not only using people's strengths, but looking at where their shadow sides might be, because those shadow sides might have an effect on the strengths. And therefore, that has a relationship to mindset.
So in your opinion, how can companies empower their employees for better productivity and better happiness, as we're all talking about workplace happiness here?
Yeah, it's true. It's really identifying the real purpose of individuals, what drives them. And that's something we throw around on an ongoing basis. Oh, you need to have your purpose and you need to find your purpose. And that's not an easy task to do. But it's about, I believe that's the strongest place to start. And HR managers really need to be coaches to be able to extract that purpose or that real essence of an individual out. And it will stay hidden unless it is, especially in some people with certain mindsets and certain attitudes. So I think it's really about them learning to extract it and using a lot of principles of coaches. Rather than just looking at the KPIs, just clicking the boxes, you cannot do that anymore. And it's about not being subservient to, just the management, and they need to step up and say, no, you know, we need to look at the whole organization. Here's the challenge, and this is the type of mindset and the type of talent that we need for tomorrow and today, which is today, right? And so I think the challenge for many is to step up and say anything.
And I've heard a lot of talk about generational gap and how the generation now you have to treat very differently and look at because of their different wants and needs. So HR is having to adjust. Have you seen this kind of trend, or do you have any opinion on that?
Well, you know, in my podcast, The Nomadic Mindset, it's interesting because I asked a person really about that, the generational divide. And he says, I think it's really nonsense, to tell you the truth. And I found that very interesting because so many people are talking about it. He says, I don't see that, he says, I see that it's about the communication, and it's about people sitting and talking to each other and understanding each other, and that it takes time. And what I learned from nomadic cultures is it takes time in those conversations, and that's how they do circular communication. So everything is on the table, it's flat, and it's not just completely hierarchical. And the other thing is that many of the young people want mentors. And so that means people that know the business, that have been there. So that's the age difference. So they can play with each other. It's about interconnecting with each other, not saying, oh, you think this way, and stop. Because that's part of the mindset, which is the problem.
No, that's a good point. Definitely coming from somebody who is a bit younger, internships can only take you so far, but you definitely want somebody to turn to and say, what did you do at my age, or what advice do you have? So best of luck to you and your book sales.
Thank you so much. Great. Oh, there it is.